I would just ask that. Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
That is a damning non-answer.
Let's introduce the vice presidential candidates faced off on the debate stage right here on News 3 last night. A mostly cordial, policy-filled debate. Governor Walz, Senator Vance talking immigration, foreign policy, the economy, the list goes on. Our Joe St. George watching it all for us this morning live in Washington. Joe, can you walk us through some of the highlights of the night? Where were the key takeaways for you?
Well, I love that word you used at the top there, Blaine. Cordial, yes. I mean, what did I say 24 hours ago? I said the expectations were high for a feisty debate, an aggressive debate. These two guys don't really like each other on the campaign trail. Man, if we were expecting attack dogs, we got golden retrievers last night. That's not a bad thing. America loves golden retrievers. I have a golden retriever. It just wasn't that on the aggressive, on the offense debate that we perhaps may have expected, and perhaps we witnessed with the past presidential debates. Perhaps that was in our psyche as well. That being said, there were still moments in which the two candidates sparred. They sparred over the 2020 election. They sparred a bit over reproductive rights and climate change, and also immigration. Take a listen.
So you've got to stop the bleeding. You've got to re-implement Donald Trump's border policies, build the wall, re-implement deportations.
We had the fairest and the toughest bill on immigration that this nation's seen. It was crafted by a conservative senator from Oklahoma, James Lankford. I know him. He's super conservative, but he's a man of principle, wants to get it done. Democrats and Republicans worked on this piece of legislation. Pass the bill, she'll sign it.
If you're going to ask me who won the debate, if you had to pick one of the candidates, most of the post-debate focus groups, the flash polls, are showing Senator Vance had a pretty good night. He certainly was crisper, sharper at times. Perhaps that's a reflection of the fact that Governor Walz just hasn't done a ton of media interviews, national or local, since becoming the vice presidential nominee. Meanwhile, Senator Vance, I feel like one of our Scripps stations is interviewing him every week. He's doing interviews at almost every major campaign stop that he does. Perhaps that was reflective a bit in last night's debate. Will it make a difference, Blaine? I know you're going to ask me that question. Look, close elections, everything makes a difference. But to be honest with you, I have a hard time seeing how this is going to dramatically reshape the race, again, following this vice presidential debate.
And I guess from now on, it's what, just a little more than a month to Election Day, so a full court nonstop press. What is happening this week on the campaign trail?
Well, today you're going to see Harris do a bit what former President Trump did earlier in the week, and that is really pay attention to what we've seen unfolding in Georgia, North Carolina, especially with this hurricane, the aftermath of this natural disaster. Remember, Georgia and North Carolina are two of the 7 core battleground states. So this natural disaster has a way of potentially of impacting the election. It looks like we're not going to get any more debates between now and Election Day. Sure, there's always a chance, but nothing's on the table as of now. We are going to get some town halls. Next week, I have a few dates circled on my calendar. Univision is hosting separate town halls with Harris and Trump on the issue of the Hispanic and Latino vote, which we know could be a pivotal demographic on election night. Some of the numbers I'm seeing in the polls show Trump performing better with Latinos and Hispanics than Republicans have in over 20 years. If that's the case, that could prove to be pivotal for Republicans come election night.
Still a long way to go, and our Joe St. George covering it all for us live from Washington this morning. Joe, as always, thank you for your insight.